Hello and welcome to today's video. If you're new here, welcome, and if you've been here before, I'm glad you're back. So in today's video, I have something very special prepared for you, and I really hope that you are gonna love it. This is gonna be like another kind of free workshop kind of thing, where I take everything really slow, so it's gonna be a long one. But I also did something absolutely adorable. Look at that. Oops, we went a bit too far. And it's just so cute. I love each and every one of them. I just want to boop their nose, and oh, I love it. Yeah. Anyway, I started this project because it was a project. It took me all day with the idea in mind that I need to do some woodland animals. And then I started what was supposed to be a silver fox, and I did the ears too pointy and the head a bit too like I don't know, too big. It's not narrow enough, so it kind of transformed in more like a husky blend with the fox, but it's still fine. It's still cute. It's adorable. I love it. Then I wanted to do a robin, and as you can see, that's far off from a robin, because I decided that, you know, everyone's doing robins this time of year. I don't want to do that. I want to do owls. I still know there are loads of people that do owls, but I thought that that's what I wanted, so I did what I wanted. And then I thought I need to do a baby deer, because that's like Christmas, isn't it? And then I thought, again, everyone does baby deer, so I did a baby Stormy, which I absolutely love. And if you don't know who Stormy is, I'm going to insert a photo right here. Oops, sorry about that. I'm going to insert a photo right here, and I'm going to show you who Stormy is. That's my dog. I absolutely love her. She's adorable. She's so fluffy. So I thought I'm going to just do a little Stormy with a Santa hat, and I think I do need to buy her a Santa hat because I think that would suit her so well. And then I decided that because I've you know, put snowflakes on basically every set that I did this year for Christmas, I decided to do another set that included snowflakes, and I added them a bit extra. I made them a bit extra because, again, this is a very special set. So yeah, I really hope you guys are going to enjoy today's video. I rambled a lot, so I think it's time for us to do some nails. I will start all the nails with Bluebell from Glitter Bells, and this is a beautiful blue, as you can see here. It's a very light blue, and I'm going to apply 2 layers of that and cure each for 30 seconds in an LED lamp, which is cured completely, obviously. And then I'm going to go in with the Kirsty Meakin matte top coat, just because I don't have the Glitter Bells top coat, so I'm using what I have basically. And I'll apply a layer of that and cure that for 30 seconds in my LED lamp, and this is how it looks cured. And then I have this mechanical pencil here, and I drew like the outline of what I thought is going to be a beautiful fox. And then I'm going to use those 2 brushes and whiteout from Kirsty Meakin. The brushes are from Glitter Bells. This is the thicker one, it's just a gel brush, and the other one is one of their liners, the middle length liner. They have three lengths. So yeah, I'm just using the middle one because I like it the best. Anyway, then I started painting the white on there. With this brush, I'm just kind of bringing a bit more surface area, and then I'm going in with the proper detailer to go around and, you know, make sure that the outline is even and everything else. And I do figure out why it doesn't necessarily look like a fox, to be honest. And that's because it's a bit too, like, the head is a bit too big, basically, and the ears are a bit too pointy and too out there, and yeah, it could have been a lot better, but I like it. I still like it. I think she's adorable by the end of it, so yeah. Anyway, I'm taking my time to go around and make sure that that white is like properly put there and there's no shadowing or anything, so I spend my time doing that. And then I'm moving on to the tail. and she's basically like surrounding herself with her tail, so you can see a lot of her tail but a bit of her body, so yeah. Anyway, I'm just adding that tail there, and you can see it's quite big and fluffy because foxes do have big and fluffy tails. I can't talk today. It's exactly like every other one of my videos. Words just don't come to me properly. But I'm doing exactly the same thing as I did with the head, and I'm putting that tail on. And then I'll start doing some details before I actually put the body on, because I thought that I might like lose the shapes of things if I just keep on putting white on everything. So I'm taking my time, making sure that there is no shadowing, which is very, very important. And then I'm gonna go in with this Anna Nail System art gel in black, and I'm gonna create 2 grays there, using the white obviously, and just like the tiniest bit of that black because it's extremely pigmented. And I'm starting with the lighter gray, and I've put that basically just a little bit high up, and then I'm putting it obviously there at the tip, and then the darker gray I'm putting it right at the bottom of the tail, and then again at the top of the tail, because I thought this is gonna give it a more like 3D effect. And then I'm going back in with the bigger brush, and I'm kind of just like feathering it out a little bit. I want the texture, so I don't want this to be a perfect ombre. I want that texture because it kind of looks like fur, and I think, you know, it looks a bit more realistic than if you just kind of make a perfect ombre there. And yeah, I'm dragging the colors, the darker one, I'm dragging it through the lighter one, and again just taking my time to create a little bit of a kind of an ombre, but a very jaggedy one. And I continue to do that until I'm happy with it, and it's not yet. Oh yeah, I added a bit more of that dark color just because I thought it needed, and then I made a mistake and I wiped the nail, and I wiped some of those like jaggedy lines, so I went back in and I re-added them because you can do that. That's why I left it in the video. And then I'm going in with the detailer brush and that black, so just the black now, and I'm creating these like really tiny lines through, because I thought they're gonna add a bit more dimension. So yeah, I just added those, then cured. Then here I'm going in with like the darkest of the grays, and I'm bringing in the ears a little bit lower, as you can see. So I added a bit of shadowing on the sides of the ears there, and then I'm adding a bit of shadowing inside the ear. And you don't have to do like the whole of the ear. You can do just the tip as a shadow, because you know they have very fluffy fur exactly in the front of the ear. That's what I mean. So they have, yeah, fluffy fur to kind of, you know, cover it from like cold and whatever. So I thought I'm just gonna do that, and then I added a bit more black in that gray, and just going back in and making it even darker because I didn't feel like it was dark enough. And then I'm gonna feather down these sides there just so they don't look very liney, you know, so they're not just basically lines there. They look more like shadows. And then you can see that I added one line in the middle there. I have no idea how I did not film that or where did it disappear, but that's cured. And then I'm going in with that black, and I am creating the nose and then the mouth of our little, I'm guessing it's, yeah, let's say it's a husky. I don't know, it might be the fact that I added those spots there at the top of her head, and then I'm gonna add something above her eyes. So now I'm just kind of doing her eyes, which are closed because she's sleeping and she's comfortable, and then I added these spots. So I think this is what made it look even more like a husky than anything else. So yeah, I guess, you know, she's still cute. I still love her. So I left it in there. I didn't want to redo her because I think she has such a nice personality. You can see, she's adorable. So I just added those for a little bit. Normally it was supposed to be a bit of shadowing, but you can keep it however you want. You can consider it however you want. And now I'm finally adding her body. Why am I pronouncing body so wrong? I don't know. So yeah, I'm just filling in exactly how I did with the head and the tail. I am just adding the white and I'm making a flat surface, as flat as possible, so I'm taking care of any shadowing that could happen. You can also do this in 2 coats if you don't think that you can get it through 1 coat. I really like this white because it's very, very pigmented. But if I were to do this on a client, I would maybe, to be on the safe side, do this in 2 coats just to make sure that there's no like wrinkling or anything, or surface breakdown. So yeah, just take care when you're putting really thick gel polish on clients. And then I'm going in with the darker gray and I'm putting a little bit under her head there, and then I put some there to create kind of her leg a little bit. I kind of don't keep that much. I actually, it all kind of seems muddled by the end of it, but I'm working more on the texture than anything else because I really want that fur texture. So yeah, I'm going back and forth. If I need more gray, I'll bring some more in. If I need more white, I'll bring some more white in. I felt like it needed a bit of shadow there, but then I thought, well, the tail is quite dark, so you're not going to be able to see where the tail finishes. So I added some more white. So you can see you can go back and forth. You can always wipe it off if you don't like it and redo it as well. Because at the end of the day, until you put it in the lamp, it's not there yet. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Also, if you're creating this kind of texture, make sure that you don't wipe it too often if you had other areas that were painted and you want them to remain like that, because when you put gel polish so thin and you're wiping it off, even though you did a full cure, you might remove some or a lot of that pigment. So be very, very careful around areas like that. You either go in with a cleanup brush or something like that, because yeah. Anyway, I am going now in with that black and with my detailer brush, and just with very, very quick moves. As you can see, I am creating these like spikes, kind of, which is like the fur is gonna make her look a lot more fluffy. So I'm creating these spikes to kind of go out of her tail and of her whole outline. Instead of me doing a proper outline, I'm doing this. So yeah, I just thought it looks a lot better. So I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna do this everywhere for her. And you can see how cute she is. She's so adorable. I really want her. I don't know why. I don't know what I would do with husky/fox in the house. And I don't think my neighbors would appreciate it, but yeah, I want her. Because my dog is tiny, so the neighbors can't really hear her, but yeah, this one would make noise. So I'm going everywhere, and I've done a proper outline there, and I forgot to press record, and then I'm doing a really, really light outline on this side of the cheek, and then on her back I'm doing the same spiky moves, and on her leg, because obviously that's kind of like her knee cap, like the back leg, you know what I mean. And then I will apply a layer of top coat. Be very, very careful with this, because you can drag some of the pigment and ruin your whole design. And then cure that, and she's done now. The next one, I decided to do Stormy, my dog. So I did a bit of an outline of what I thought she would look in, a Christmas hat. I can do better than this. I'm not extremely happy with it, but I still look. I think still think she looks adorable. That's what I meant. So yeah, I'm somehow happy. So I started with the darkest gray, as you can see, and then I'm going in with that white gel polish, and I'm just bringing some highlights in, cured it, and now I'm going back in with that white and bringing some more highlights in, because you could see the chest and you could see like the front of her legs a little bit more, so then they would have a bit more highlight because the light would hit them. And then I decided to do whatever this is, to create a bit more like shadow there. And I'm taking the other brush and I'm kind of like softening it a little bit just to create a bit more shadow. And then I decided I didn't like those lines, but I will bring them back in. I kept on going back and forth, as I said. So yeah, I don't know, I was not extremely happy with her body, but then I thought, you know what, it's fine. She looks awkward most of the time anyway when she like sits and looks at you, so I thought this is gonna be a perfect representation of her being awkward. So I'm adding more highlights wherever I think it's needed, where I think it's a bit too dark. It's a good idea to just like play a little bit with whatever you want. Try to do your dog or your cat in this kind of style and see how it goes. And then I'm going straight in on her like mustache area, because she does have one. Not at the moment because her hair is quite cut down, but normally she does have a mustache. So I'm creating that mustache first, and that's just the white out, and that's it. And I'm going in first, you can see, with the big brush, and I am applying the color because it's a lot easier. And then I'm going in with a detailer brush, and I will, make that outline perfect, and yeah, make sure there's no shadowing anywhere, because again, shadowing can really ruin your design. So just look for that whenever you're doing anything. Make sure you keep an eye for that, because you can work on something for like hours and hours and then actually looks a bit weird and wonky because you have a lot of shadowing in it. So keep that in mind. And then with that middle gray, I am going to just, with the lighter gray, not middle. I don't have three. I only have two at the moment on my palette. But with the lighter gray, I'm just gonna do like her bottom part of her face. And I'm just creating a bit of a bit of texture there, just at the top, where the mustache would create a bit of shadow. And I'm gonna come back in and I'm gonna add a bit of more like darkness. I just went outside the outline, so I thought I'm just gonna clean this up quickly. So yeah, I'm making sure I'm fixing my mistakes as I go along. And then there was an air bubble there, and it really annoyed me. I couldn't get it out. And they're the most annoying thing ever, especially when you're mixing gel polishes, because they're like liquid. They get a lot of air bubbles in them whilst you're mixing, and yeah, it's very annoying. Then I went in with the darker gray again, and I added even more texture and even more shadow underneath there. For the next part, I am coming in straight with the white again. And because it's gel polish, you can see that there is quite a nice outline there, even though that is the same color. So yeah, that's why I kind of applied that a little bit, because I knew which part is like cured recently and which part was there already. So they didn't blend in yet. So yeah, I'm creating like the eye area, as you can see here, and the forehead. And she kind of looks now like she has glasses on. I don't know, it's so funny, the ski glasses. This reminds me of that so much. So I just do exactly the same thing as I did with all the other white that I applied. I'm making sure there's no shadowing. I'm going back in. I'm looking at it from all the angles because obviously this is under the camera, so I can't really see completely what's going on unless I move it through all the angles because it's not exactly in front of me. I have to keep it under the camera, so yeah, it's quite hard. And then I messed up there, and for some reason I kept on going back with my finger to remove it, but that's why I wear gloves. Make sure you wear gloves. And then I'm going in with that lighter gray, and I'm creating the eye area, like the individual eye areas, because her type of dog tends to have, like Shih Tzus, because that's what she is, tend to have like the forehead hair comes above their eyes, so it creates this kind of shadow that, and it's a bit darker as well, the eye area, so it creates that shadow, and then it's a bit darker and it goes on the side exactly how you see it right now. So I tried to mimic that, and then I'm going in with the darker gray to create a bit more texture, because it's all about the texture in this video, you will see. And as far as you've seen until now, it's exactly that. And I'm working it through with that detailer brush and keep on going back and forth and back and forth, just to kind of spread it around to not have that gray exactly in the same spot. And then I'm going back in with the bigger brush to kind of soften some of the areas that seemed a bit too harsh with the darker gray. And then I thought I'm gonna add just the tiniest bit of shadowing there, because obviously that would be her nose, so then the back of, like, the forehead would be behind the back of her nose, so it would be a bit of shadow. And also I added a bit of shadow here exactly under what's supposed to be the hat. Then using Void and this dotting tool, I am going to apply one dot straight in the middle for her nose. To be honest, I wish I didn't do that. I wish I didn't go in with the dotting tool, because I ended up adding way too much product, more than I needed. And then I kind of had to sort it out a little bit, and it took me a while, because you can see, because it was kind of a textured surface, it's a bit wobbly, but it's fine. She's still adorable. And then with that dotting tool, I'm going back in and I'm creating the eyes, which right now look like demon eyes. They're very dark and scary. And then I'm going back in, and exactly how I did with that fox, I am going to do this. I don't even know what technique it is. I don't know how to call it, like stippling technique. And when you do something like this, make sure to think about how the fur would sit in that area, because there are some areas that would have like a flatter surface, and then there are some areas like the side of her mustache that would be a bit more wispy. So yeah, make sure you do that. And then I wanted to add a bit more texture on her chest, because I thought it was a bit too white, and I ended up adding a lot there on that side. But then I thought, you know what, it's a dog, it might be just the coloring, so I'm just gonna leave it like that, because it gives her something to be different about. I don't know. So I just left it. It looks really weird, I know, but it's fine. But it's a good thing, because when you do any kind of animal designs, it's really easy to get away with things because they have weird colored hair, so that's good. Anyway, then I'm going in with Anna's Nail Systems art gel in white, because this is very pigmented and I knew I was going on a black surface, so I thought I'm just gonna use this. And I added some highlights to her eyes. Make sure the highlights kind of go into the same kind of direction and shape when you put them in the eyes. And then I added some highlights on her nose, and I'm adding some like lines in her fur here and there, because it's a different color from that. I know it's still white, but it's a different shade of white from the white out, so you can add a bit more detail with the proper, like very, very strong white on top of it, which is great. And I've done that. Then here I moved on to the hat, and I'm just adding the white strip first because, yeah, it's what you're supposed to do, I guess. I just wanted to make sure, it's wide enough. So I'm creating that, and I'm doing exactly the same thing as I did before, where I'm making sure I don't have any shadowing or highlight or anything like that. It's just basically just one blank surface. So you take your time, work through it. If you have any air bubbles, try to get them out, because that's gonna really help you with the end result, and it's gonna look a lot neater and cleaner once you do that. And then I decided that's not wide enough, so I'm gonna make it even wider. So I went up with that hat a little bit, and I liked it better. But yeah, just keep at it, making sure everything is fine. I know I should have sped up this area, this part a lot more, but Then I'm going in with Lust, which is this beautiful red. God, this red makes my mouth water. It's so gorgeous. I don't know why. Like nice and creamy pigmented colors. Just, they're so gorgeous. I love glitter, but I love creamy colors as well, especially if they're like really nicely pigmented. So yeah. And I'm creating the hat, and you can see the hat is not just like a round thing. I'm actually gonna bring it a little bit on the side, kind of like it's bending, because basically her head would not, you wouldn't have a lot of head after that forehead there. It's just like the smallest tip of the head. I don't know how to explain. So that hat would not be sitting properly. It would just kind of be hanging around there. So obviously the hat is not filled with anything and is gonna fall on the side. That's what's going on in my head. So yeah, I made it fall on the side, and then I'm going in with the black and I'm adding some details here and there. I'm adding an outline to the hat, to the white part, as you can see here. And with this paint, the secret is to not have a lot on your brush and to not apply a lot of pressure. So just work mostly with like the tip of your brush and just bring it around, and make sure that once you touch the brush to the nail, you're ready to move it. So don't just like touch it and then start moving it. Whilst you're touching the brush on the nail, make sure you like move it slowly. So yeah, anyway, there I decided that I didn't have enough of a shadow under that hat, so I added a bit more of that dark gray, and then I added some like lines on the hat where it would be maybe bent or something, so it would have a bit of shadow. And then I moved on to the little fluffy thing at the tip that I still don't know exactly how it's called. Yeah, I have no idea how it's called. It's a fluffy pom-pom. There you go. It's a pom-pom. So I added that, cured. I'm applying a layer of matte top coat now, and I will cure that after I am happy with it. And then this nail is done. She looks a bit weird. And then moving on to the last of our characters, I started with the hat on this one. I have no idea why. So I added the white first, and I used the big brush from the bottle because I couldn't be bothered to go with the smaller brush. I thought it's gonna be really easy to just use that, which it was, and I'm happy I did. And then I'm again taking my time to create that hat, to like paint it everywhere and making sure that everything is nice and even, and that the hat kind of looks even, because you could see that there at the top was not looking even. So I'm going back in and I'm making it a bit better. And also this reminds me a lot of the Smurfs. Probably, the combination of white and blue. But every time, like once I was editing and I was watching the videos and whatever, and I was like, Am I creating a Smurf here? What's going on? But no, it's gonna be an owl. Just an owl with a white hat. That's it. He needs a hat because it's cold outside and his top of the head is like cold. Anyway, then I'm going in with Ness, which is this very, very light yellow, pastel yellow. Yeah, pastel yellow. And I'm going around her wings. I wanted to go around her little feet as well, but then I gave up because I decided that even though I tried to follow the outline that I drew on, I kind of made them crooked, as you can see. So I decided I'm just gonna I'm gonna put her feet on top of it in a second. But yeah, then I'm gonna spend an enormous amount of time trying to avoid that nose as well, the beak, sorry, not the nose. And yeah, you can see me here like really struggling to avoid that little beak, but I'm going around the eyes, obviously. Although now I'm kind of wishing I didn't go around the eyes and I just painted all over them as well, because it would have been a lot easier. And then I just gave up with that beak. I just went in like, yeah, no, I don't need this anymore. But yeah, I just keep on doing this and until everything looks nice and even. And I will paint the legs in a second, the holes that I left for her legs. There you go. Come on, do it. Oh my god. So yeah, I'm adding more color wherever I need, and then I thought, yeah, no, I don't need this anymore. You could see the frustration of how angry my brush was. And then I touched that area with the hat and they started merging together and it started looking ugly. So anyway, then I'm combining a bit of cola with Vamp. Cola is it's a brown, but it's not extremely pigmented. So I thought that Vamp is going to actually make a difference, which it did. As you can see here, it created this very desaturated dark red. I don't know how to call it, but reddish brown. Yeah, anyway, and I went in over her wings with that. I know the contrast looks crazy right now, but just give it a minute because I will fix that. So I'm just painting I have no idea how I made that edge dirty, but that's fine. So yeah, I made the wings and now I'm going in with that same color, but just the tiniest bit on my brush, like what I had left over. And I'm going around, as you can see, the bottom half and the sides. And then I'm gonna go around the top as well, because I wanted her belly to be a lighter shade than the sides and everything else. So yeah, that's what I'm doing here. I am adding, the shadows from the wings as well, although they would fall underneath actually, but as I said, I wanted the middle to be a bit lighter. So I'm adding some more of that light yellow and I am like brushing it through to create a bit of texture, because again, this video is all about the textures and I had some texture in every single one and I really loved it. So I've added that and then I'm going back in with the darker color as well and just bringing it out again, just because that area would be shadowy anyway. So even though her belly would be the same color as the sides, you'd still see it a bit differently because that would have shadows on it from the wings and whatever. And I really love how the texture ended up being on this one. I don't know, I think it's just so gorgeous. But yeah, I'm just kind of brushing off whatever I think it needs brushed off, and then I'm going in over these. Although they are completely cured, I'm going in with the light yellow again and kind of adding some highlights. You'll see in a minute what I mean, because I know this looks crazy right now, but I'm basically just painting over the top of that red and brown mix thing. And I'm adding some more of that yellow because I wanted it even lighter, because I thought the contrast is a bit harsh. So yeah, I added a lot more, but I will bring some more of that dark color as well in a second, and I will bring it just there at the top, again to create that kind of transition between, you know, like light and dark, and to create a bit more texture, because you can't really create a lot of texture with the color underneath cured. You need some of the darker color that's still kind of wet, so you can play around with it. And then I'm going in with Isac, and I'm just painting the eyes, and you can see that they look a bit greenish here, and that's because this yellow, although gorgeous, it's not extremely pigmented, and you know, going over the blue, it's actually quite hard to do in one coat, which is fine, you know. I mean, a very pigmented yellow is usually kind of like a pastel yellow. It has to have a bit of white in it. If it's just the yellow, it's not great. So yeah, I'm just making sure that that yellow goes up to the edges everywhere, and that it's as even as possible. And then I will give that a cure in a minute and cure it fully for 30 seconds in my LED lamp. And then I will go back and apply a second coat of that, just to give us that nice yellow color and to stop making it look green, because obviously with the blue in the background it would make a green. So yeah, anyway, I am doing exactly the same thing as I did on the first layer with this yellow. So applying it, making sure it's even, making sure there's no shadowing. Even if you think that your color is a bit too shadowy, and you can get rid of it, just give it a second to settle, because these are gel polishes, so they will move around a little bit and they do need to settle for a second. Give it a second, see how it looks. If it's needed, drag a bit more with your brush. After I cured the yellow, very important to cure it, because otherwise doing this would completely make the whole thing like melt together. So I added some ponyo for the beak and the little footsies that she has that are absolutely adorable. To be honest, I don't know why, but her like feet remind me more of like slippers. So I guess, you know, it makes sense. She has a hat, she needs slippers as well. So yeah, anyway, then here I'm going in with that light yellow again, and I'm just applying it around, like on the eye, just to create kind of a different thing. I don't know how to explain it. For the eye to be not completely the same color, you know, to have some, yeah, I don't know, some dimension to it. There you go. To have a bit of dimension. And this doesn't have to be perfect, because to be honest, you're not going to be able to see a lot of it, but it still changes the way the eyes would look. So they don't look as demony as they did when they were very yellow. And then I'm going in, after I cured that, I'm going in with some of that black, and I'm just doing, you know, dots and creating the pupils. And then I kept on making that one pupil bigger than the other, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna make a big difference between them. So I gave the owl a concussion, and then I am going to give her some like highlights on her eyes, because her eyes are shiny obviously. So I just did that. And then I used that dark, you know, combination of brown and red, like the tiniest bit on my brush, to just create a shadow from the hat. So just drag the line over the top of the eyes, and then I added some more shadowing there because I thought there was not enough. And yeah, I'm just kind of working it out. And then I added some shadows over the top of her shoes, feet, whatever, slippers, things, just to put them more in like the front row, you know. And then I'm going in with that detailer and with the black, and I am creating the wings. They don't have to match, they can be a bit different from each other. So yeah, I'm just creating the outline, and I'm going over everything that I just, you know, that is different in color, obviously. So basically her feet, her outside, and then her wings again. And I think her wings are just so adorable. I don't know why. I really love them. Like, she's adorable altogether, but yeah, I really like that part of her. They look fluffy. Yeah. Anyway, then I am going around the eyes, and you can see I have some spaces where I messed up, and that is completely fine. You go in with your like cleaner brush and cleanser brush, sorry, and just remove those areas. Don't remove the whole thing, just go slowly and just remove those areas and repaint them, and they're gonna be fine. Like, I messed up a lot on that left eye. I added some like spots of paint where I shouldn't have, and I was not happy with it, so I'm gonna go back in. And then I messed up with that like dark circle underneath her eye because she's tired. I don't know why she's tired. I don't have a backstory for her. She's just tired, so I added some dark circles underneath her eyes. And you know, again, if you messed up anywhere, do what I do here. I have a bit of cleanser on my brush. I'm going back in, I'm wiping my brush every time it's leaving the nail. I'm wiping it off, and then, you know, cleaning up all the little mistakes that I made. So whatever happens, don't worry about it. Then I removed apparently that line, and I'm gonna put it back in. I usually cut a lot of like things like that maybe, but this time I just wanted to leave them in. I don't know why. It's gonna be a very long video. And then I used the tip of my brush to just add some spots here and there, because I feel like, you know, owls do have that. And then you can see here that when I painted with that, it dragged a bit of that white over the black. So what I did, I just took the brush and I'm wiping it off a lint-free wipe to remove any of that excess white. That was just the sticky layer from the white, but it does drag on a matte top coat, so make sure, you know, you're careful with that. And then I cured, and now I'm going back in with that white gel paint, and I am creating some texture for the hat. You can do whatever you want. You can leave her without a hat if you want. I just thought she's gonna be very cold, so I thought it's gonna be a nice addition for her. And I am adding some like lines here to just create the edge. I don't know the parts of the hat and how would this be called, but yeah, it's like the edge of it. And then I am just adding lines on the sides to make sure that, you know, I definitely make a difference between the hat and the background, that it looks a bit 3D kind of. And then I just went in and I did this. It's like the easiest design ever. I added some lines on the sides, and then, you know, just put a dot basically and just drag. And then I added some diagonal lines on one side and on the other side. Really easy, simple design. It doesn't have to be perfect. Then I'm going in with this crystal clear. It doesn't have to be nail nails. I'm using nail nails because I have a pot of this, and I never actually use it on clients. I use glitter bells instead, just, you know, preferences, what works for me. So I just use it for this type of stuff now, with sugaring and stuff like that. Anyway, this is how this nail turned up. Then for the next two nails, I did not remove the sticky layer nor applied some matte top coat, so I just left the sticky layer on there, and I'm going in with that color from that glitter from Ink London, which I have no idea how to pronounce, and I basically just rubbed it into the sticky layer. Then I'm going in with the base coat from the Kirsty Meakin range, just to protect that glitter and to make sure that if I mess up, I can actually wipe it off with no issue of removing that glitter. And then I'm removing here the sticky layer over both of them, so I'm working in parallel with both of the last two nails. And here I'm using some of that white gel paint from Anna's Nail Systems and the very raggedy edged sponge. So that's what created that texture. And then here I'm doing a very easy snowflake. I showed you how to do these in depth in one of my last videos. I can't remember which one. But you can see all of them in the thumbnail, so yeah, you can choose whichever one. But it's really easy. You can see I added 5 dots, I added 2 on the sides, 2 on the other side, and then 2 in the middle of each of those things, and I just dragged it with the detailer brush. And then I'm doing exactly the same thing on this other nail, but on, you know, the other side it's a bit higher up. So simple snowflakes. You can do whatever type of snowflakes you want here. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. And then I realized I was not in the middle, because I kind of use these videos to create TikToks and shorts, so I kind of need the nail to be in the middle. And then I'm going in with the glossy top coat, and I'm applying a layer of that. This is still from Kirsty Meakin, and I cured that for 30 seconds, which is a full cure. Then I'm going in with the Ink London white no wipe top, no wipe gel paint in white, because this is very, very thick. So it's still a pigmented gel paint, but it's very, very thick, and you can add a lot of texture with this, which is what I absolutely love. So to create these snowflakes, you can see here, they're really simple to do. I'm creating some lines that are like thicker at the tip, and then I'm kind of dragging them down slowly to create that, you know, pointy area on the down. Yeah, you see what I'm doing. And then obviously you have to like add them on the other side a little bit to make sure that you create continuity. Again, I talked about this in one of my last videos, so go watch that. And on the other nail, I am creating another type of snowflake, just because I felt, you know, a bit more, I don't know, I wanted to do something else. And basically I'm creating part of a snowflake here. I added some lines, and then now I'm doing this thing, whatever it's called. And to make it a bit more interesting, I will add some dots, I think. Yeah, so I'm adding 2 dots, one on one side and one on the other, and yeah, you see what I'm doing. And then I add another one apparently. I don't know, I just wanted to kind of like doodle after all of that intensive painting. I really wanted to doodle, and I've been probably 8 hours already in this set, and it takes me about 8 hours to film sometimes. I know it sounds really long, but it is. Anyway, now on one of these silicone things, you can see I added a drop of top coat, and then I'm going in with my detailer brush, and I am dragging some lines out of it. I know it's very, very hard to see. It's very hard to film as well, and I am sorry, but you will see in a minute the shape I'm doing right now. But this is exactly what I'm doing. So I just dropped a layer of top coat, and then I'm dragging the lines however I want them to be, like long or whatever. And I'm doing this on a silicone thing, because if I would do this on the backing paper of a form, the top coat would move around and would like pull around, whereas on this stays put. It's exactly where I leave it. It stays in that shape, especially that I'm moving fast. I'm not spending 3 hours, or I'm not leaving it 3 hours. If I would leave it 3 hours, it would still like pull and come back. But yeah, you can see what I've done here. It's basically like a cross, and yeah, you'll be able to see it a lot better in a second. I cured that, so I basically just put the whole silicone thing in the lamp, and then now I'm going back in with that white gel paint, the really thick one, and I am just kind of like dragging lines towards the middle of it, and yeah, creating you see what I'm doing. I'm just dragging lines in the middle and creating a little snowflake again, which is really easy to do. I really love to do these type of things. The only thing you need to keep in mind is you can do this to put them on display. You can't put them on clients. If you put them on clients, they're gonna break in like a minute after you put them on. They probably can't even take you putting the oil on them. They might still break because they're very, very fragile, which is like exactly like a snowflake. So I really love to do these on some sets to like add some more interest. But you can use these to like promote yourself on social media because they really drag the eye. And now you can finally see exactly the shape that I've done, and to apply it, because again, this is not gonna go on a client, it's not gonna go on anyone. I'm just using some top coat. I've put a dot of that, and then I've just basically placed that snowflake exactly in the middle with the outside, the outside that I painted. No, with the side that I painted on the outside, that's what I meant. Because you want to be able to see that texture that you created with the white gel paint. And then I've popped that in the lamp, and I moved on to the next one. And here I'm just creating basically a star, so I put the dot in the middle again, and I am just dragging. I don't even know how many sides. You will see in a second. I know it's so hard to see, it's so annoying, and I don't know how to make this easy to film because it's clear, and I don't think it would look good on anything. So yeah, Then after that was cured, I marked my middle as you saw, and now I'm just kind of dragging those lines towards the middle, and just slowly taking my time to make like the tip a lot thicker than at the bottom there. So yeah, I don't know if I'm explaining this really well, and I am sorry about that. This is all the words that I can say to make it sound okay. I can't talk. It's been very busy. It's been a very long week. So I am sorry. I tried my best, I promise. So yeah, I'm doing this thing everywhere in the middle, and you can see that the secret here is to have like longer lines and shorter lines, because it just looks a lot better and a lot more like delicate. And then I'm going around each tip, and I'm trying to like make that little tip even thicker because I wanted to make it, anyway. Then you just peel it off after you cured it with the gel paint as well, and I will add a dot of top coat there, and I'm just gonna plop this snowflake right in the middle of that in a second whenever I grab a hold of it because they're fiddly. And yeah, that moved a little bit, but it's fine. It's still fine. Again, it's not going on any client's nails. It's all right. These are all done now, and I am absolutely in love with them. They're just so adorable and fluffy, and I don't know. I really want all of them in here to just kind of stay with me on the couch and we can watch something. I don't know. But I really hope you guys are going to learn something from today's video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And, have a Merry Christmas. I'm not going to post on the 25th because it's Christmas, and, I would really like a day off. So I'm sorry, but I will be back next Wednesday after that with a New Year's set. And then I'm not gonna post again. Oh my God, they fainted. And then I'm gonna post again. I'm not gonna post again on the 1st of January because again, I will be very tired after the, celebrations of the New Year. So this is going to be my last video before Christmas. I really hope you guys have a lovely Christmas. And you enjoy everything and have fun and eat too much, and yeah, just have fun. And yeah, I will see you in next one. Okay, bye.